All right, so here's Bitcoin. Here's a daily chart update. Um, Last video I posted, not much has changed since the last video I posted, but let's do a little bit of a technical analysis breakdown on it. So, short term, we have Bitcoin right now in a falling wedge pattern. So, 68% chance this breaks to the upside. So, I'm kind of looking for Bitcoin to come down in here, come down, and possibly break out and then retest our upper trend line. Big pattern is we have a big rising wedge. So last time we had this rising wedge, the rising wedge wasn't as big. It was a small rising wedge that we had here where it broke down. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we had there was that rising wedge, and then Bitcoin broke it to the downside, and then eventually came down here to 30K. So here we have Bitcoin. Sometimes what you can do, your short-term trades, you can kind of trade the bottom of the pattern, sell at the top of the pattern. That's one way of doing it. Or if you're kind of riding Bitcoin, you're still riding. We're still in an uptrend. We're still making, higher highs. Have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high, and now a higher low. So what we're still looking at on Bitcoin. Bitcoin can kind of come down to this 49,500, 49,300 level and still be considered fine. So right now it's just trending, nothing terribly new. We go to our MACD. Our daily MACD is trying to cross bullish, so this is a good sign. Our stochastic, which will front run the MACD, is already cross bullish. We've had bottoming patterns on it, so I would expect, based off the stochastic and the MACD, we get some sort of price rise. Our RSI is not above 50 yet, so we're still in a downtrend. But however, it seems to be bottoming out here on the RSI. Probably climb above 50. We get an uptick, continue uptick. I would expect Bitcoin to come close to our upper trend line, which would then place us probably with new all-time highs for Bitcoin, probably hit the $70,000 mark. I wouldn't be surprised for us to actually hit as a good $70,000 Bitcoin. So again, this could take time to play out. Doesn't necessarily have to happen overnight. First, what we need though is a breakout from this falling wedge. So let's kind of pull up the weekly chart of Bitcoin so you can see an even bigger view. And this is what I like to break down sometimes on it. So, clean this up. So, if you see here, this is my Fibonacci. So our Fibonacci tool is a retracement line of great buying opportunities. Bitcoin on the weekly bottomed out here at the 0.382. Wouldn't be surprised, and would all still be great if it comes down here to the 0.5. It could even come here to the 618. This is your golden pocket for Bitcoin between the 0.5 and 618. So it's all in the cards for Bitcoin to do that. But I'm still looking at this rising wedge that Bitcoin is currently in, and hopefully Bitcoin will put a nice break to the upside. We still haven't had our blown off top yet of the Bitcoin cycle. We usually get big blow off tops when rising wedges break up. So a rising wedge typically breaks 68% chance to the downside, but on that remaining 32%, if they do break above, you'll tend to get a parabolic price move. So all eyes on Bitcoin. Remember, this drives the market. I want to kind of put one coin in front of you. ADA has been getting killed. Since its highs. ADA is running down almost about almost 50% down from its all-time highs. Dow theory says that you can get a 50% retrace and still be considered in a bull market. So this is what I'm looking at. So you have this global, you have this macro falling wedge on ADA, right? 1, 2, 3 touches, and you have your touches up top. Your big falling wedge. I'm waiting for ADA to break out of that. However, while it's in this major falling wedge, you have a smaller falling wedge that ADA happened to break out of. So this kind of gives you almost like an alert on your radar that something might be changing. It looks like ADA is starting to put in a higher high. So again, this was all a downtrend. You have a low, a high, you have a low, a lower high, you have a low, a lower high. Now you got a low in here. And almost for like 2 days, we kind of came to this 148 level and stayed. Now ADA has come up and put in a higher high here. That's what we're looking for. What we need now is for this ADA to kind of continue up and break this high. And then we might get a retest of the macro wedge. Again, we broke out of the falling wedge inside the major falling wedge. This is kind of giving us a clue that something's going on. We don't have volume confirmation yet. We want some sort of big green spike to show us. But however, to put this on your radar, put ADA definitely on your radar, and kind of keep an eye on it. If it starts to break upwards, I would look to start to enter in a position in ADA.